Hi, boys and girls. I hope you're all doing well. If you've chosen to do this reading, The Girl and the Apples, then you're in the right video. We're going to talk about this story a little bit. You'll do some reading on your own, and then we'll walk through some questions together, and you'll complete a written response. Okay? The Girl and the Apples. This story is a fable. That's the type of genre. We have fiction and nonfiction, but a more specific genre is a fable. And a fable is a short story that usually includes characters that are animals. Okay. It also usually conveys or tells a moral. A moral is like a lesson. Okay. So while you're reading, I want you to be thinking about what lesson or what moral this story is trying to teach. Okay. Close reader habits. At the bottom, you'll see this close reader habits. I'm on page 12 if you can't find the reading. Okay. Close reader habits. Underline key details that help you figure out the central message. So while you're reading, just like when we read in class, right? You can underline key details that are going to help you to determine the central message. Remember, key details like a wish, a problem, or a solution, right? In a fictional story. So I want you to take a minute and go ahead and read this. I'm just going to pause the video. You can go read and annotate the story. Go ahead. Okay, boys and girls. Now that you've read the story, we're going to just walk through the worksheet. Now that you've already learned how to do this from our mini lesson, you're going to actually do this one on your own. So I'll just read it to you and you'll fill it in. Explore. How can key details help you figure out what lesson the girl in the story learns? And if you look right here, okay, this little girl tells you a little tip. To find the central message, think about what each key character says and does. Complete the chart by writing some key details about what the characters say and do. Then write the central message or lesson. So here you'll fill out key details that the girl says or does, and here key details about the farmer. So what is a wish, problem, and solution? Wish, problem, and solution. Okay. Or you can also write anything about their thoughts, feelings, or actions like we do in class. Okay. And then you'll determine the central message. Okay. So you want to pause the video and go ahead and do that part now. Okay, boys and girls, now we're going to talk about it. It says, think about the message of the story. Talk about what the girl learned. So with someone at home, with a family member, you can talk about what the girl learned in the story. What was the moral? What did she learn? Okay. You could also reach out to a friend if you can call them, right? Or send them a message and talk about it with a friend. Okay. Go ahead and pause and do that now. And the last thing we'll do today, boys and girls, is a short response. What is another lesson the girl might learn from what happened? Use the space provided on page 126 to write your answer. Hint. What might the girl think about the farmer's advice by the end of the story? Okay, so just this part right here, we're actually going to just fill it out on the next page for our writing, okay, page 14 of your packet. So while you're about to get ready to do your writing, I want you to be thinking about what the girl thinks about the farmer's advice at the end of the story. And this says the same thing that I just went over with you. All right, boys and girls, so the directions say, use the space below to write your answer to the question on the page before. Short response. What is another lesson the girl might learn from what happened? What is another lesson the girl might learn from what happened? What is the question word in that sentence? In that question? Shout it out. What's the question word? I can't hear you. What? Yeah, what is the question word? So we're going to take out the word what, okay, and we're going to turn the question around. So our TTQA would be, another lesson the girl might learn from what happened is blank, okay? Okay. Or you could say, the girl learns many lessons, right? And then for your answer, you could say one lesson. But since this is a short response, they're only asking you for one paragraph, okay? So you could just turn it around and say, another lesson the girl might have learned from what happened is, and share the lesson in your writing, okay? So since it is a short response, we're just doing one paragraph, okay? We want to remember our keywords, okay? So your TTQA goes here, right? Answer, okay? So since there's only one, we can just write another lesson or a lesson, right? Oops. The girl learns is, okay? A lesson the girl learns is, and then you fill in the rest. For our middle section, our orange, right? Blue, orange, yellow, BOY, right? Your boy, remember that from class? Okay. Our evidence in paragraph blank, it states, okay? And then you'll just find a paragraph that supports your answer and rewrite it in your own words. And for explain, normally that's in yellow. I'll just use a light green. I don't have a yellow. Okay, we're going to explain it. So we just say this shows. Remember, boys and girls, when we're explaining, we're just explaining how our evidence supports our answer and how all of it ties back to the TTQA. Okay? And remember the last part, the clincher, okay, your closing. You're going to restate your TTQA. Okay, boys and girls, I'll put that a little closer. See, you can pause it on this screen if it will help you. Okay, so you'll create your mini 3 chart, and then you're going to copy your final draft onto this paper. Happy writing. Nice job, boys and girls. Keep working hard.